Mga kababayan, have you ever wondered who around the world still supports our idol, Rodrigo Duterte, even after he left Malacanang? Love him or hate him, Digong remains one of the most controversial but undeniably influential leaders in Asia. With his tough policies, bold diplomacy, and his infamous war on drugs, he built a network of global allies that might actually surprise you. So, in 2025, which countries are still solidly behind Duterte? Join bizarre world adventures as we count down the top 10 countries that still stand with Digong, from unexpected alliances to powerful partners, and uncover the global legacy he left behind. Don't forget to comment which country shocked you the most, hit like, and subscribe so you won't miss more interesting stories like this. 10. China. When Rodrigo Duterte took office in 2016, few could have predicted the dramatic shift that would reshape the Philippines' position on the world stage. While previous presidents leaned toward the West, Duterte took a different path. He turned Manila's gaze toward the East, and it all began with a handshake in Beijing. In October 2016, Duterte made a bold move. At a time when tensions in the South China Sea were rising and criticism from the US and Europe over his war on drugs was intensifying, Duterte declared a separation from the West. His destination? China. His message? Economic cooperation over confrontation. From that moment, a new kind of partnership began, one that would change the game. China welcomed Duterte with open arms and with massive investments. Billions of dollars flowed into the Philippines through the Build program. Bridges connecting distant islands, high-speed railways crossing regions, and 5G networks lighting up major cities, all backed by Chinese funding. China was no longer just a partner. It became a cornerstone of Duterte's development vision. In return, Duterte took a softer stance on the South China Sea disputes, choosing trade and infrastructure over territorial conflict. For many Filipinos, this was controversial but undeniably strategic. While the West condemned his drug war, China sent drones, soft loans, and vaccines, no strings attached. And the influence didn't stop there. The skyline of Manila started to sparkle with Chinese-backed casinos. Mandarin slowly became one of the most studied foreign languages. Chinese tourists flooded in. The Philippines was changing not just economically, but culturally and politically too. This relationship, built on mutual interests rather than ideology, marked a turning point. For Duterte, it wasn't just about picking sides, it was about survival and progress. Some called it a double-edged sword. Others hailed it as a brilliant move. But one thing's for sure. By 2025, China is no longer just a neighbor, it's Duterte's most powerful ally, and perhaps the most lasting symbol of his political legacy. This wasn't just diplomacy. It was the start of a new era for the Philippines, shaped by pragmatism, power, and the promise of a better future. 9. Cambodia. Not all powerful alliances are forged in front-page headlines or fiery speeches. Some are built quietly in hallway conversations, firm handshakes behind closed doors, and knowing glances at ASEAN summits. That's the story of Cambodia and President Rodrigo Duterte. At first glance, the Philippines and Cambodia seem worlds apart, different in size, history, and economy. But beneath the surface lies a surprising connection, a shared tough leadership style, resistance to Western interference, and a strong sense of national sovereignty. Duterte found a spiritual brother in Prime Minister Hun Sen, Cambodia's iron-fisted leader who has held power for decades. Both men are no strangers to controversy. Both have faced intense criticism from the West over human rights, and both chose to turn away from foreign lectures to focus instead on regional solidarity. Behind the scenes, they worked in sync during ASEAN meetings, subtly blocking joint statements that criticized internal policies like Duterte's drug war or Hun Sen's crackdown on opposition forces. This was a partnership built not on loud declarations, but on quiet strength. And it wasn't just about politics. The relationship was backed by growing economic ties. Cambodia boosted its exports of rice and textiles to the Philippines, while both countries explored joint opportunities in agriculture and manufacturing. Duterte's official visits to Phnom Penh weren't just diplomatic. They symbolized a personal friendship and a shared vision for a more independent Southeast Asia. What made this bond even more special was the cultural connection. Both nations bear scars from colonial eras. Both endured long struggles to reclaim their national identity, and both are home to large Buddhist communities where values of compassion and mutual respect are passed down through generations. Hun Sen didn't just quietly support Duterte, he openly defended his war on drugs, something very few world leaders dared to do. In a world where the Philippines often stood alone under global pressure, Cambodia stood firmly by its side. On the global stage, Cambodia may be a small country, but in the ASEAN political arena, it became a big ally, a strong and steady voice that helped Duterte push back against criticism and shape a Southeast Asia less dependent on the West. In the end, this alliance isn't measured by size, but by solidarity. And in the chapter of Philippine history written about Duterte, Cambodia won't just be remembered as a neighbor, it will be remembered as a loyal brother who stood by him during the toughest times. 8. Vietnam. While the world was focused on President Duterte's bold pivot toward China, another friendship quietly blossomed, this time from a neighbor that knows all too well what it means to be colonized and to stand up to powerful nations: Vietnam. Vietnam didn't make loud announcements. It didn't flood Manila with flashy investments or bold promises. But behind closed doors and in calm diplomatic conversations, Hanoi became one of Duterte's most strategic and steady partners. Both countries shared deep concerns over China's growing assertiveness in the South China Sea. And unlike some ASEAN nations that hesitated, Vietnam and the Philippines stood firm, sometimes shoulder to shoulder, sometimes in quiet parallel against maritime encroachment. While Duterte took a softer tone with Beijing, he quietly strengthened security cooperation with Hanoi. The message was clear. The Philippines had other options. Joint naval patrols began. Intelligence was shared. The two sides quietly coordinated strategies to fight illegal fishing and defend maritime sovereignty. In an era of shifting alliances, the Vietnam-Philippines relationship stood as a model of pragmatism and resilience. On the economic front, this friendship only deepened. Vietnam became a key supplier of rice and electronics, while the Philippines exported bananas and seafood. Trade volumes surged, and with it, mutual trust. Unlike Western nations, Vietnam didn't criticize Duterte's controversial drug war. They saw it as an internal matter deserving respect, not judgment. But this relationship wasn't just about politics or trade. It extended into classrooms and airports. Vietnamese language programs began appearing in some Philippine schools. Direct flights brought travelers between Manila and Hanoi, linking two proud peoples through a new thread of cultural exchange. Vietnam didn't need the spotlight. Its support was quiet, but powerful. By standing with the Philippines not just in defense, but in shared values of sovereignty and realism, Vietnam helped Duterte solidify his standing within Southeast Asia. In a time when global friendships were being tested, Vietnam proved one thing: not all strength needs to shout. Sometimes the greatest power is simply showing up and standing silently beside you. 7. United Arab Emirates. Amid the scorching sands of the Middle East, where cities like Dubai and Abu Dhabi rise from the desert as symbols of prosperity and modern ambition, there is a nation that has quietly stood beside the Philippines: the United Arab Emirates, UAE. To millions of Filipinos, the UAE isn't just some distant land, it's a second home. Hundreds of thousands of OFWs live and work there, sending back billions in remittances that fuel the livelihoods of countless families and contribute significantly to the Philippine economy. But the bond between the UAE and President Rodrigo Duterte runs deeper than economics. The UAE didn't just see a strong man in Duterte, they saw a kindred spirit in the global fight for security and stability. While Western nations condemned Duterte's war on drugs, the UAE chose silence over scolding and offered cooperation instead: intelligence sharing, defense partnerships, and a quiet but firm show of support. They invested heavily in Mindanao, Duterte's home region and area, long neglected by national development programs. With Emirati businesses stepping in, Mindanao saw a wave of new infrastructure: seaports, highways, clean energy projects. For Duterte, this wasn't just foreign investment, it was a powerful validation that Mindanao deserves a place at the table equal to Luzon and Visayas. The UAE also admired Duterte's unwavering stand against terrorism, especially during the battle to liberate Marawi from extremist forces. In the eyes of Emirati leaders, Duterte embodied a rare kind of resolve, a leader who acted for real peace without waiting for the West's approval. Beyond politics and security, the relationship flourished through people and capital. More Filipinos came to the UAE not just to work, but to study, start businesses, and explore new lives. Meanwhile, UAE investors began eyeing Manila as a rising star, a young, vibrant market full of potential. In a world rocked by shifting alliances and public pressure, the UAE remained consistent. They didn't judge, they didn't lecture. They acted with investment, political support, and quiet trust in a nation charting its own path. To Duterte, the UAE may not be a superpower, but they are something rarer: a dependable ally, a friend from afar, willing to stand beside you not for headlines or praise, but because they believe in your fight and your future. 6. Japan. When it comes to the Philippines' most loyal allies, one name stands out, not with loud declarations or sharp criticisms, but through quiet consistency and unwavering support: Japan. From the very beginning of President Rodrigo Duterte's administration, Japan held a unique place. Unlike China, it did not seek to dominate headlines. Unlike the US or Europe, it refrained from lectures and condemnation. Instead, Tokyo offered respect, investment, and trust, a belief in the Philippines' path towards sustainable development. While much of the world debated Duterte's controversial war on drugs, Japan chose not to condemn. They understood that every nation faces its own internal challenges and must find its own solutions. Rather than apply pressure, Japan offered practical support, providing patrol vessels to the Philippine Coast Guard, aiding in the fight against piracy and illegal fishing across the nation's vast maritime borders. Japan became one of the largest donors to Duterte's ambitious infrastructure program. From bridges connecting Manila to surrounding provinces, to railway systems shortening the gap between urban and rural areas, to disaster-resilient infrastructure that protects vulnerable communities, Japan's fingerprint was everywhere, and it carried the spirit of quiet generosity. And then there is culture, soft but powerful bond. Millions of Filipinos grew up on Japanese anime, studied the language, fell in love with sushi and ramen, and dreamed of someday walking the streets of Tokyo. Meanwhile, more and more Filipinos moved to Japan not just to work, but to live, integrate, and be welcomed as part of the community. For Duterte, Japan's support meant something deeper. Tokyo never sought the spotlight. It didn't grandstand. Yet in every moment of challenge, Japan was there steady, silent, and resolute. In a world where loyalty is often traded for political gain, Japan stayed the course, firm, realistic, and unwavering. And that is precisely what made it one of the most trusted allies during Duterte's turbulent presidency. 5. Thailand. The relationship between Thailand and the Philippines spans decades, built on shared values and a deep understanding of each other's political challenges. But under President Rodrigo Duterte, this relationship didn't just endure, it flourished, especially around one critical issue that both nations have grappled with: the war on drugs. When Duterte assumed office, one of his most defining and controversial policies was a tough crackdown on illegal drugs. Thailand, having faced its own painful battles in a similar war, immediately recognized the path the Philippines was on. Both nations understood this wasn't just a fight against crime, it was a fight that required unwavering resolve and courage. Thailand, like the Philippines, had once battled powerful drug cartels, and this shared struggle created a rare sense of empathy and solidarity between the two. During official visits between Duterte and Thai leaders, crucial agreements were forged not only in security cooperation, but also in areas like tourism and agriculture. Thailand invested heavily in Philippine infrastructure, especially in transportation and energy projects, helping to improve living conditions while boosting the country's economic development. But the bond goes deeper than politics and economics. Cultural and tourism ties became another bridge connecting the two peoples. With its stunning beaches and rich heritage, Thailand became a favored destination for Filipino travelers. In return, millions of Thai citizens visited the Philippines for vacation, education, and cultural exchange. Direct flights, cultural programs, and sports events strengthened not just diplomatic ties, but people-to-people connections that endure beyond any political administration. Crucially, Thailand never publicly condemned Duterte's policies. Instead of criticizing, they chose to focus on shared goals and long-term cooperation. That quiet understanding and respect helped preserve a strong, close partnership and that stood firm even in a Southeast Asia marked by shifting alliances and outside pressures. From political alignment to economic investment to cultural exchange, Thailand proved itself to be a reliable ally throughout Duterte's presidency. And in both major decisions and everyday diplomacy, Thailand remained a steady friend and strategic partner, never too loud, but always present. 4. Indonesia. When examining the challenges faced by the Philippines in Southeast Asia, one key partner consistently stands out: Indonesia. As the region's largest Muslim-majority nation, Indonesia not only shares a deep understanding of the issues confronting President Rodrigo Duterte, also plays a critical role in the Philippines' regional security strategy. Indonesia and the Philippines have developed a strong and resilient partnership, not just in diplomacy, but in coordinated efforts around security and defense. When the waters of the Sulu and Celebes Seas became hotspots for terrorist groups and piracy, The two nations didn't hesitate. They launched joint military exercises, shared intelligence, and conducted coordinated operations to combat these threats. This cooperation didn't just safeguard the region, it signaled Indonesia's firm commitment to both Philippine security and regional stability. Beyond the battlefield, Indonesia is a key trade partner for the Philippines. The two countries engage in robust commerce, particularly in energy and agriculture. Indonesia exports coal and palm oil, while the Philippines supplies electronics and farm products in return. These economic exchanges don't just boost GDP, they deepen the interconnectedness between communities. Yet the connection between Indonesia and the Philippines goes further than economics and security. Their cultural ties run deep. From music and food to shared traditions, the people of both nations enjoy a rich cultural dialogue. Dishes like Indonesia's nasi goreng and the Philippines' adobo serve as delicious reminders of a shared cultural landscape that binds the two countries in everyday life. Despite differences in religion and cultural identity, Indonesia and the Philippines have remained closely aligned, thanks in part to a shared ASEAN vision and the challenges they've faced together. Indonesia's stability and long-term commitment have played a crucial role in helping Duterte reinforce regional security and preserve political steadiness at home. To Indonesia, this alliance is more than strategic, it's a testament to the power of multilateral cooperation in Southeast Asia. And to Duterte, Indonesia has proven to be not just a regional partner in security, but a steadfast friend always ready to stand beside the Philippines in times of uncertainty. 3. Saudi Arabia. When discussing the countries that supported the Philippines during President Rodrigo Duterte's tenure, Saudi Arabia undeniably emerges as a crucial ally, one that has played a pivotal role in strengthening both the Philippine economy and the religious ties between the two nations. Saudi Arabia has long been a key destination for Filipino workers, with thousands of Filipinos employed in major cities like Riyadh and Jeddah, contributing significantly to the kingdom's economy. However, the impact of these laborers goes beyond simple employment. Their remittances have been a cornerstone for stabilizing the Philippine economy, with billions of dollars sent back home each year, creating a strong reciprocal support circle between the two nations. But the relationship is not limited to labor. Saudi Arabia has also been a major contributor to infrastructure projects in Mindanao, Duterte's homeland. These investments not only help develop an economically disadvantaged region, but also serve as a testament to Saudi Arabia's commitment to the prosperity and stability of the Philippines. A key element of this partnership lies in their shared religious respect. As a leader in the Islamic world, Saudi Arabia has funded Islamic schools and mosques in the Philippines and supported various religious initiatives. These contributions have not only strengthened the trust of the Filipino Muslim community in Duterte's government, but also promoted a form of soft diplomacy through religious ties. Notably, Saudi Arabia refrained from criticizing Duterte's controversial war on drugs, a stance that set it apart from many Western countries. Instead, the kingdom chose to focus on economic benefits and long-term cooperation, demonstrating a deep understanding of the unique circumstances and needs of the Philippines. Saudi Arabia's unwavering support goes beyond economics. It encompasses religious and diplomatic dimensions, playing a crucial role in maintaining a stable and effective foreign policy for Duterte, both regionally and globally. With these contributions, Saudi Arabia has become a key partner in Duterte's strategy, and this relationship is set to continue to grow through future economic and diplomatic agreements. 2. India. When reflecting on the international partners of the Philippines during President Rodrigo Duterte's leadership, India stands out as a particularly noteworthy ally. As a major South Asian nation with shared interests in security and trade development, India has become an important and reliable partner for Duterte, especially in areas such as counterterrorism, maritime security, and technology cooperation. In 2023, Duterte's official visit to India marked a significant milestone in bilateral relations. This visit wasn't just a diplomatic landmark, it led to strategic agreements in defense and cybersecurity. Leveraging its expertise, India committed to training the Philippine forces in several areas, ranging from counterterrorism to protecting critical infrastructure. With the growing threat of terrorist groups and security risks in the region, India's support has been pivotal in bolstering the Philippines' defense capabilities. Notably, India refrained from joining Western nations in criticizing Duterte's war on drugs, a topic that has sparked international controversy. Instead, India focused on shared interests and long-term cooperation, particularly in security and trade. To strengthen their economic ties, India and the Philippines signed agreements in technology and pharmaceuticals, opening doors for collaboration in these vital industries. Beyond strategic matters, cultural connections also play a significant role in the India-Philippines relationship. With a large Filipino community in India and cooperation in the Bollywood industry, cultural exchanges have strengthened the bond between the two nations. Bollywood films featuring many Filipino actors have facilitated an intriguing cultural fusion, deepening mutual understanding between their societies. The relationship between India and the Philippines is grounded in pragmatism, where strategic, security, and trade interests take center stage. This partnership not only benefits both nations, but also helps Duterte maintain a stable and strong ally in the region, while affirming the Philippines' standing on the global stage. With India's support, Duterte has been able to confidently face significant challenges, from national security to boosting the Philippine economy. This relationship continues to evolve and stands as one of the key pillars of the Philippines' foreign policy. 1. Russia. In recent years, the relationship between the Philippines and Russia has witnessed remarkable growth, especially under the leadership of President Rodrigo Duterte. With a strong stance against Western interference in the internal affairs of nations, Russia has emerged as an important strategic partner, particularly in the areas of defense and energy. This relationship is the result of a pragmatic foreign policy, as Duterte sought to diversify the country's international alliances and reduce reliance on Western nations. Russia, with its military and energy strengths, has provided significant support to the Philippines, from supplying helicopters and rifles to the Philippine Armed Forces to investing in the country's infrastructure. These contributions have not only strengthened the Philippines' defense capabilities, but also deepened the military ties between the two countries. Particularly in the face of fluctuating regional security situations, Russia's support has played a crucial role in helping Duterte maintain national stability and power. Unlike Western nations, Russia refrained from criticizing Duterte's war on drugs. On the contrary, Russia has supported the Philippine government's efforts to tackle the drug problem. This partnership extends beyond defense into economic and cultural cooperation. Russia has been increasing its presence in the Philippines, particularly in the tourism sector, with direct flights between the two countries and tourism projects, offering opportunities for people from both nations to exchange and deepen mutual understanding. Cultural exchange has also become a strong aspect of the Russia-Philippines relationship. Cultural and art programs have strengthened the friendship between the two peoples while expanding opportunities for collaboration in creative industries like film and music. This relationship provides not only diplomatic benefits, but also enhances global solidarity on key international issues. With Russia's stable and ongoing support, Duterte has not only reinforced the Philippines' defense capabilities, but also enriched his country's foreign policy strategy, helping the Philippines become a more influential player in Southeast Asia and the world. This partnership, bolstered by Russia's multifaceted support, remains a key factor in ensuring the Philippines' resilience in a rapidly changing world. And that's the top 10 countries that have stood by Digong in 2025. From China's massive investments, Cambodia's unwavering support, to the strong friendship with Japan, Duterte's legacy truly extends beyond the Philippines and resonates around the world. Kababayan, how do you feel? Which country surprised you the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Salamat po sa pag-watch. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you won't miss the next exciting videos. Hanggang sa muli, mga kaibigan, stay proud, stay Pinoy.